Hello, people of the internet. It's your boy Skinny Penis with another fresh from the press replay for Barbiano, the new steel car, the new pretty obnoxious steel car, let's say. Can talk a bit about it. Also see one of my better games. To be fair, I had a lot of shit games too. But yeah, we're gonna talk about it, if it's balanced or not, stuff like that. 30,000 steel. Guess they leveled out the steel prices now. Everything is 30k steel. Pretty short testing period. I think they're really eager to just ship weird fucking boats and that's what they think is best as new content, or the only new content they can bring. I mean, I have battleships looking 180 degree in the opposite direction, shooting, and suddenly the shells fly my way, even though the turrets are turned away from me. I have shells landing short. I have no new maps. I'm still getting stuck on underwater crab. Yeah, but we get new ships every single patch. Quick, fast. This one at least not for straight cash, but for steel. So yeah, can get it. Also, to be fair, it's a fun car. Something something new, yes, it's something gimmicky. It's not that new, given that we already have a Regulo, and to be fair, it's kind of like the same playstyle as Regulo and the same balancing as Regulo, just doubles down on the smoke farm gimmick of it more, because like Barbiano, obviously fatter, larger conceal, so your smoke farming becomes even more necessary for good damage output without losing HP, whereas Regulo can also do a bit of open water, because it's obviously smaller. It's faster. Yeah. Therefore, Regulo doesn't have the DPM though. And also Regulo does pen 38 with the SAP. This year with FK only pens 34. That's, by the way, also something the FK doesn't really show you what happens. It only tells you more reload. You pay pen 26 millimeters or so base, so like DDs and superstructures, and you have the high DPM. And if something goes flat with 32 millimeter or below platings, like 30 mil cruisers, 27 mil cruisers, and shit, you can use your F key and yeah, penetrate the side plating. What you want to do is you want to do that when they turn flat. For example, here the Mets, he's not flat enough, so you wouldn't use the F key. You would keep spamming the superstructure with your normal DPM. Same for the NC here, really. I think like NC side is like 34, 36 or something. That was something. It's not 38, I believe. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I think you could use F key here and deal more damage, but just gonna, like in a lot of situations, you just want to spam the superstructure with the higher DPM. It's a bit more effective. But yeah, NC, I mean, it's one boat. Generally, like if you have something like a Conqueror, you want to use the F key. Pushed up, it's kind of what you want to do if there's no radar. Obviously, there's no radar in this matchmaking here. So you can push up and then use your smoke to go dark. As you can see, I'm smoke heart detected, which means the YY for some reason pushed up into my smoke heart detect, which means he's 3.5 close to me. And the Mets didn't shoot me, which means the Mets somehow turned away and gave up on the fight, which I don't understand. But yeah, what we can do is we can just suicide rush into the YY now. The thing is an excellent, that's also what I hate the most about this ship, it's an excellent 1-for-1 piece of shit car on enemy destroyers. The DPM against destroyers is close, or like it basically looks like a fucking reload boosting Austin. So yeah, as you can see here, questionable. Yeah, the thing is, if DDs turn up like this, you just instantaneously kill them. If they angle, you deal way less damage, but you can basically knock the front turrets of destroyers close range the entire time, so like you also take less damage from him, so it can still 1-for-1. It just takes longer, but you also don't take that much damage in return. But yeah, this is basically, as you can see here, now that the DD is dead, there's no radar. I'm just gonna be able to use smoke after smoke after smoke to fight enemies in spawn and basically spam their superstructures. Here, for example, he turns flat. His side plating is 27. I don't pen that base, so you use the F, and suddenly you pen it. And since he's shot, and I also have teammates behind me, I can just use my smoke, and I can keep going at him. Obviously, he's not angling. I mean, this ship is really good against people that kind of ignore you or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, you can DPM him down quite fast. The DPM is obnoxious. Like, I think if you run If you have the normal firing mode without the F, your DPM is somewhat close to 800, 750, 800,000 DPS in terms of SEP DPM. That's quite high. That's quite high. And it's on purpose. It's so high that even if the superstructure is saturated and you only pen the superstructure of a given ship, you're still dealing so much damage that it's kind of worthwhile. But yeah. People would probably think this thing is broken as fuck. It's not. It's kind of like a Regulo. A Regulo was never like a really bad ship. They buffed it multiple times now, so now it's actually like even better than it was. It was pretty good already. It had its niche, and it was definitely good in a lot of situations, but really bad in others, and that's the problem. This DD here and Regulo, this one here doubles down on the gameplay. You either suck in a situation and you can't really do much, or you're completely broken because you suddenly get the ability to use your smokes for free, walk at people, and be super close all the time and using your smokes over and over. Obviously, Regulo being a bit easier to play in that sense because you have 7-2 concealment, not 8. You can go dark a lot more after your smoke is there. Also, since you're faster, the speed boost alone, open water is also a good alternative to then farm after your smoke is down and then you go re-enter your smoke. The big issue with both ships is you need spotting while you're in your crawl smoke, so therefore that's the situation where it either like if you have spotting, area spotting or a teammate spotting, obviously your smokes are insanely nuts because you can just farm for free. Like there's no way of spotting you if they don't have radar. And if there's nothing to spot the enemy and you want to farm, well, you're suddenly completely shit because you have to basically be open water and eat damage. There's some ways to play around it, like you can, with 37,000 HP or the same on Regulo, you can make the enemy shoot you once and then immediately dip into the smoke, which means you have 20 seconds of smoke fire penalty on the enemy ship that you can farm him. You will see that later on. I will run at a Cerberus on purpose. He will shoot me once. And I immediately dip into the smoke, and then I have 20 seconds of killing him. The thing here is, though, this ship here has so much DPM that you can actually kill the cruiser, basically in those 20 seconds, if he gives you enough side platings and stuff to shoot, because your DPM is just so obnoxious. I mean, this is the thing, right? It looks super broken with the string of piss that's coming. But you do need to position very well, aim very well, and not like eat too much shit, because you're very easy to hit and people can focus you down fast. So yeah, I would actually say, like, weirdly enough, the ship is balanced. Decently well balanced. I mean, it's not like, I mean, if you look at destroyers, you have stuff like Sherman that is way more broken in my opinion. Like, the Sherman has the 6.5 conceal, has way more range, the crazy arcs, it has a long smoke and a hydro in the smoke. Like, if you want to farm with sap and then also HE, it has HE for the fires. Like, the Sherman is definitely a more demented option. Same as, like, in terms of gameplay, like something like a Gdansk, a Ragnar, and specifically a Smaland and Gdansk specifically, I would say, are way more broken in their entire gameplay. Because you still farm like crazy, but you're also, like, in no way can a DD really just fight you. Like, you can basically sniff out the enemy DD on purpose because you have the stupid radar, and you're, like, obviously way more maneuverable than a Barbiano. Like, yeah, there's definitely more broken ships. It's not like nuts broken. It's only like in one situation you feel like this thing here, holy fuck, it spams me twice from a smoke and deals like 100k damage on me as a BB, for example. Or shit, that Barbiano got into my broadside as a cruiser. I only have 30 plating and suddenly it rips me apart. But then in other situations, it just does nothing. I also have to say, like, a lot of games that I played, I've been really unlucky. I also inted quite a lot. Yeah. Still leaves open the question, why would Wargaming introduce such an obnoxious design? Because you always have to think about it, like, Wargaming probably only thinks about, like, how do people feel that play that ship directly? Like, how, like, they only think about the perspective of the player of this ship, and it's like, yeah, that's interesting and fun to have this crazy DPM and spam, and then, like, get these situations where you can open water, smoke farm someone for 50 seconds or some shit. But how does the other person feel? Like, I don't understand why they would ever introduce such a boat when you know that battleship players, cruiser, like, generally, like, the casual player complains a lot about spamming cars. They already complain about, which is understandable, about stuff like Sherman spamming you for 2 minutes, stuff like Smolly spamming you at 15 km from smoke, Yinan spamming you, also like Smaland or Gdansk, like all of this spam shit, they hate it. And this year is just all of this cracked up to 50,000. Like you suddenly, like this is a never-ending string of piss you're sending. Like, look, the first smoke on the Sun Yat-sen, which, by the way, I don't pen anything on his ship. I mean, I could go for the nose and ass with F, but, like, he's too far away. Like, I spammed him in the first smoke for, like, 50k damage. And now with the second smoke, you just have to be patient. I can just finish him with superstructure pens. It's, yeah, like, I don't know. I would personally not introduce that if I was a, gaming company, like a developer. It's too obnoxious. It's kind of like the same reason why subs are specifically also carriers shouldn't be in the game the way they are. They're so disconnected. Like you just everyone who fights against you feels like shit, and therefore I don't like these designs. I mean, personally I wouldn't care because I can just play them myself. But question would here be why do they even risk their own player base being griefed by these things and having like feeling like weirded out by this constant minigun stuff. Also here you obviously have the Sansonetti proc, so you get even more reload. I like to run it without AFT and just play Fearless Brawl. I personally, I don't know, you can spam at 12-13 kilometers, especially BBs. I personally don't like it. I just play it without range and go more in and play around the smoke. I guess dropping Fearless and going for, what's it called? AFT is a bit easier probably for most people to make work. You can spec kind of whatever you want. If you share it with Regulo, you definitely want AFT, so therefore, I mean, I just switch the commander again, or I just reskill again. If other people can't do that, yeah, just play AFT. I like that you go dark a bit earlier in the sense that in a lot of situations nothing is in your range after you kill the enemy. For example, like if I go for a DD or a cruiser and like I kill him and then like nothing else is in range because my range is so limited. I also don't really like the arcs, but yeah, I mean, the ship can be played in some farm situation again where you just stay at 10 to 13 and you just look for farm. You can also try to catch people like I do, like I play a bit closer. I mean, obviously I also tend to blow up a lot. It's a gimmick boat. It's fun for like 30-40 games and then at best, and then like you just don't want it. Here, for example, this is what I meant with the Cerberus. Like I have no one close to him. You can just see it on the minimap. If he shoots, he's probably lit anyways, but I want to make sure. Like 7-3 or so is the smoke fire, so he shoots now and I instantaneously smoke. And now look at this DPM. Like I penetrate everything on him now. He angles up and like he's healing too. Like you don't even see the heal. You just I don't know, man. You also knocked the guns, by the way, which is happened. Like if the turrets aren't armored enough, so like if your sap penetrates the turrets on a cruiser or a DD, you just obliterate the guns. Like if you fight something like a Shimanto, Takeshi's Castle, or Yodo, for example, that's very funny. They don't have turret armor, so like you just knock turrets over and over and over again. On DDs you do the same. So like that's quite fascinating, gotta say. But yeah, little spawn adventure. It's, by the way, interestingly enough, same situation as what Regulo likes to do. If you get to kill your flank or your flank is abandoned, you're an exquisite destroyer in Regulo already to chase people, just because you can keep chasing with your smoke, dip out, and then like even if you dip out and you give ground again to go dark and give the smoke time, you have the speed boost to catch up and stuff. If you get access to the enemy spawn, Regulo and also this one here, they become quite obnoxious just because you have this crawl smoke. Obviously the issue is always like you need spotting on the enemy. Funnily enough, carrier games work both ways, therefore. Like you don't like to see a carrier in Barbiano yourself, specifically ones that have decent rockets, for example, or good HE bombs. Because you're so fat and stupid and you can easily be targeted. But I mean, if you have the carrier spotting, you can also use your smoke more freely, so like, I don't know. Yeah. Some people already asked like Austin or this. wouldn't personally know. It depends on what you want. Like, I mean, you can see the gameplay. Austin is obviously way harder to make work, I would assume. For Austin, you kind of also need the specific spec. You can't really share it with Des Moines and stuff. You want the SEP skill on Austin, obviously, 10%. You want the A skill. This one here you can just share with Regulo. So therefore it's kind of nice. You can see here the ribbons are always like the same. You get tons of shell hits. Obviously, you have a lot of non-pens and stuff and ricochets. But yeah, you just target the superstructure, and more than half of my shells are penetrations. Just target superstructure. That's what the ship does. And God forbid, like you saw with the Cerberus, you actually get a target that you pen on the sides. Something like Conqueror, Devastation, Patrie, Alsace, Reaper, 32 mil BBs, you rip apart. Like in one smoke, you can deal up to 70, 80k damage if you really just have them flat. Your DPM is really, really fucking stupid. But then against like something like a Kreml or other BBs that have very little superstructure, you still deal a lot of damage, but it's not as effective. You kind of need some time to farm them down. It's kind of like this all or nothing also, as I said, also with the engagements. Like you either get to farm for free from your smoke, or you just don't really get to use your smoke at all, because like you're permanently cucked with from spotting, or you're zoned by an enemy DD. It's very easy to zone. Like regular is also more effective in that sense. For example, you have you go 55, 54 knots with speed boost 56 knots. So like you can just run at the enemy destroyer, nuke him down if you want to, because you only have 7 to conceal, and then you can smoke after. This ship here has a harder time actually just running down the enemy DD. But to be fair, I played it enough. Like you catch a lot of destroyers. You can 1-for-1 a lot of DDs, and when the spotting is gone, like the DD is dead, you have an easier time afterwards to just wait for your smokes and always farm and farm and farm. Yeah. Obviously not the best XP, farmed a lot of battleships. It's also perfect matchmaking, like there's no raider in the enemy team, there's only one DD, and the DD inted in the beginning immediately into me. So therefore, perfect scenario. There's also no carrier, no radar, yeah. So like, don't take this as a good example of what the ship does all the time. More often than not, you land in full tier 10 matchmaking with lots of radars, or tier 10 and super ship matchmaking with lots of radars, or even a carrier. And then you actually do have, you struggle a bit to make this ship work. It requires a lot of patience, that's for sure, because you need the speed boost and specifically the smokes to come off cooldown. So that's something you need to wait for. You just can't farm all the time, and specifically if you see an opportunity but you don't have your smoke, it is kind of hard to then just not shoot. But trust me, you would lose a lot of HP in all those situations if you just open water shoot. The ship is pretty big. You can see like you just rip cruisers apart. That Cerberus was obviously extremely disgusting. And then if you have the superstructure spam, here the Sun Yat-sen, that is 1.5 smokes I used on this guy, not even 2 smokes, it was only like a half of the other smoke. 67.6k on the superstructure alone. Sadly, we didn't really get to see like a lion farming. Like, I mean, that guy was alive. If at the end he kites to Narnia, I could have probably done funny rundown on him. That would have been at least like 40k more for free, because that's just the DPM. It's a 32mm BB. I would have penned him everywhere. But yeah, the Sun Yat-sen is probably the engagement that you have a lot. You just spam the superstructure of BBs. Even if you have a 30mm to 32mm BB, you most of the time, or in a lot of times, if they angle, your SAP still gets checked. Like impact angle still gets checked on the SAP. So therefore, if they're really angled, you still spam superstructure without F key. You really only use the F key if people are angled up and flat. Normally, you just spam superstructure and you get more damage. Yeah. And plunging fire only kicks in at like 13, 14 km or something, 15 km, shit like that. Like plunging fire on deck, like 32 mil, 30 mil decks, is very far away. So therefore not really feasible. Just stick with the non-F button. But yeah, that's Barbiano. Funny gimmick car, honestly. It's kind of what we get now, only like copy-paste stuff that is meaningless and doesn't even bring something new, like Monmouth or like this car here, totally gimmicked. The experimental ships, Utrecht, totally gimmicked. Sad to see. Really sad to see. The only interesting car that is a bit nice, in my opinion, or looks really nice to play is like Gorgonzola on tier 9, but then again, they sell that shit the moment they have something very unique, but also not like broken and like nice and interesting to play. That's at least what it seems. I don't have it. They sell it for 120 bucks on tier 9. Like, sorry, I'm not going to do that. Go fuck yourselves. Yeah. Would be nice to have some bugs fixed and to have actually new maps, new content, like actually core gameplay content and core gameplay fixes instead of this shit. But I mean, it's interesting for a few games. I would also say if you have the steel, they're not really releasing that many steel ships in quick succession, so then just get it. If you have other ships, I would rather get the actually important ones like Ragnar, Svea, Stalin, maybe even Loria in comp. You like BBs, generally stick with BBs. Like if you only play BBs and you like them, or only play cruise and like them, just also pick the same class from steel. Don't go to another class and like DDs. A Z42 even, like those are more easy to play and more effective ships to win games and also learn the game. This is very, very gimmicked, very unique. And you have to really understand the specific playstyle. It doesn't really match any other ship other than Regulo. Therefore, it's not really something you maybe want to have in port to play 100 games with. But yeah, hope you liked it. See you in the next video. Adios.